So hello guys, welcome to this quick review of the Gateron Cream Soda switches, one of the newest switches that is available from Squishy Types. So again, this video is sponsored by Squishy Types. But even with that being said, I try to keep all of my reviews as objective as possible. Then again, this is a very subjective hobby, so take everything that I will say with a grain of salt. So these are Gateron's newest switches, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they've been out in the market for quite some time. They're new in a sense that locally here in the Philippines, it's newly available. Thanks to Squishy Types for bringing in these awesome switches. They are linear switches with a milky top housing and a 13.2 millimeter long pole palm stem, an ink bottom housing, and it has an 18 millimeter gold plated long spring with a 63-gram bottom out. And what is good about this switch is that it is factory lubed, and it says here using a new method similar to the Irene switches, which claims to be very smooth. So does it live up to that expectation? I have to say yes. These switches are really good. I was really amazed at how smooth they were out of the box. Really amazed that there was none to minimal spring and leaf ping. On some switches, to be honest, there is a very slight ping that I would hear, but only if I forcefully hit those switches and I really want to look for that ping. But on normal and regular usage, I wouldn't even notice them at all. That's how good these switches are. And to tell you quite honestly, at 420 pesos for 10 pieces, so that's around 42 pesos per piece, that would quite fall into the higher tier pricing. I think it's still worth it. These switches are plug and play. They're good to go. I wouldn't lube, I wouldn't film these switches because that's how good they are. Sound profile tends to be a little bit on the middle. It's not too thocky. It's not also clacky. It kind of plays, if there's a word, around the sound profile of clocky. But what I do like is it being a long pole switch is that even though it leans towards the deeper sound of the spectrum, it's still very lively. I love that bottoming out sound because of that long pole switch. Alright, so how loud is it? Maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, if Zaku's were the 5, this would probably play out at around 3.5 to 4. How smooth is it? 5 out of 5. Very smooth. No need to mod or lube this thing up. Again, at the end of the day, that would be preference. And the sound profile, I already mentioned. Probably if 1 is deep and thocky, 5 is super clacky, this would be probably play around 3.5 to 4. So that is it. Quick review of these awesome switches. Do check them out as they will be running out soon. At the moment, there are only 48 stocks available, I think, from the Shopee page of Squishy Types. It's really good. It's really good. Probably one of my favorite switches in 2023 that I've tried thus far. That's how good these switches are. And I love it. It's going to stay with me. I'm going to be using these switches for a long time. So again, I told you, we're in 2023 and this should be the norm. It should be the norm already. Factory lube that is very good. Plug and play. Use it out of the box. I believe that we're in an era that people shouldn't even be opening up and lubing their switches. These switches should be coming out of the factory very good and good to go. And that is what the Gateron Cream Soda has achieved. So really impressed and really happy. So thank you guys. Thank you for listening and watching. And I hope to see you on the next video.